goes to buttress the point that there are some irregularities where some of these people, their appointments are concerned. And as such, as a government, and coming into a situation where you find yourself in a broke country and being saddled with this number of people that you have to cater for, it is just right for you to say, look, let's have a look at the way this thing is done. And from what I read, it's like, yes, you can leave, but when the portals are opened, you can reapply. And that for me is fair deal for everybody. Because we're in this country and we had so many things. Even after this elections and all, we are hearing of people having to pay monies to be given positions or to be employed. Now, the whole thing is it that they had the qualifications and they paid the monies and were employed? Or is it that some of them were just given jobs because people took monies to fix them in certain areas? So I am of the view that what the revocation is going to do is to streamline the posting or employment of every Ghanaian. What I know is that when there are vacancies in the public service, it is advertised for everyone to have the opportunity to at least apply for. If you do well, you go for an interview, you follow all the procedures and all that. Did they follow due process? Did they ask for financial clearance? All these things we need to know. And at the end of it, were there emergencies? Was it such that it couldn't wait for the next government to take charge and make sure that at least it was on a sound footing to be able to employ those people?
In the public sector, we know that there would have been financial clearance first, and this will be a process, not a day's event. So it's most likely that most of these recruitments, the process would have started long before the elections.
Okay, so granted that maybe it was started long before the elections. Couldn't it have been passed on to the new government? Because there's no rush in that. If you have taken people and you feel that they are qualified for the jobs that you have posted them to, you should be able to give that list to the next government to deal with. Because after all, they are going to be the ones to pay the workers. The remuneration and everything is going to come through them. So I think that the MPP has no case in this situation. We saw what happened in 2017. I think a bunch of people were in military training and they were all sacked. They were actually going through training. And so many other things, so many other people lost their jobs. So at the end of it, these are political positions, most of them. Political positions. And once a change of government comes, yes, you have to go. And when it comes to the other positions within the public sector, one would say that it is always good for one to take one's time, at least make sure that you're getting the right caliber of people. We cannot go and employ probably nurses who have not gone through the system. We cannot go and employ teachers who probably haven't gone through the system just because they have come out. There's so many stories of malfeasance going around because of job selections and stuff. And for me, teaching and nursing are very critical professions in this country. Not too long ago, we heard the president of the Ghana Medical Association complaining about the number of lawsuits that they are having to deal with because of negligence on the part of certain medical personnel. Nurses come under that as well. So it will be just fair that you give them the opportunity to look through and interview these people, that you reapply and just make sure that they are qualified to look after us. That is the main thing. And when you come to teaching, the teachers are the ones that will nurture our young ones and our future generations. We have problems with people telling about drunken teachers, teachers who don't go to work, teachers who do not qualify. They cannot, even they themselves, express themselves, let alone teach our young ones. So in all these things, I think that as a country, we should accept the fact that there is need to look through this revocation. There's need for us to ask them to step aside and to reapply when the portals are opened.
Interesting. I saw you writing, making notes.
All that we've said here this morning, are normal things that are expected of us. But we do know that what is out there is abnormal. What we've been living with for the past 8 years has been abnormal. We are in this country. It's not like we are strangers. We hear, we listen. People tell us. You know very well that some people get their jobs not because they are qualified, but because they know somebody. And how come it is that it's always the political elites who have their children and their siblings and their whatever in GRE, GNPC, what? Look at the list. If you want, go and look at the list. Very high profile jobs. And at the end of it, those are the jobs that are being given last minute. What does that tell you? We should not sit back and look at the situation and think that because this is the norm. Look, the Constitution is there for us to follow. That same Constitution was written. Sometimes I tell myself, I said the Constitution is not bad. It is the people who have been empowered by that Constitution who do not use their common sense that is bad. And they make the Constitution to be bad. And so if you have the power to elect people, or you have the power to promote people, and because you feel that you have the power, you just go promoting without sitting back to see the repercussions that those promotions are going to bring. That is what happens. We were in this country. Our president jumped a senior military officer. 2 intakes or 3 intakes were left behind because he wanted a particular person to be the chief of army staff. Do you know what happened to the rest of the army people who were there? The kinds of confusion that particular thing happened. He's going away. Then he makes them again 4-star generals. Ask yourself, Ghana, as we sit, are we prepared for those kinds of things? A 4-star general, a 3-star general. You are giving that position to an incoming government. And you know very well that we are in serious trouble. We are in debt. We cannot even pay our debts. Why is it that simple common sense could not advise us that we are leaving? So, if we have a list of people we want to employ, and we have gone through and seen that His Excellency John Mahama has won, the NDC is saying they are coming with 60 ministers and they are going to collapse ministries. But
by 7th December, they didn't know they were leaving.
By 7th December?
Before 7th December. They didn't know they were leaving. You say that they ought to know that they are leaving, so they don't do certain things.
But Nanado's tenure of office
keep on coming
was
up with
there at the end, 7th December. Whether he was going to come back or not is no question. It was either going to be Bawumia or Mahama. But Nanado, as a person, was not going to come back again. He should have left whatever it was for either Bawumia to come and do it or for Mahama to come and do it. But
so again, I ask the question, should the president be issuing a directive for all these institutions? Because I doubt that the president will know that all these small institutions around are making, recruitments.
A good president must be briefed and must know what is happening
everywhere.
You must have your ears everywhere, or at least.
Is that not saddling the president with too much?
I don't think so. The president is able to go to 275 constituencies. Now it's 276. He talks to everybody. So why will this one be too much for him? He should be able to handle it. And you see, when you say we should avoid political retaliation goes hand in hand with loyalty to the ruling government in view of their policies and programs. But we are in this country. Even now, as I said, as I was coming, there was somebody on a social media handle. Oh, and then John Mahama has taken 1 billion and we don't know what he has done with it. We did 40 days of a government coming in power. We cannot continue to sit back and pretend that this country is so polarized, that we have the NDC, the MPP, and because of all these things, whatever happens, at the end of the day, it is people that we are dealing with.
You are simply saying what has happened.
What has happened?
The MPP government brought it upon itself, what the president is doing is correct. It's okay.
That's what I am saying. I'm saying that even from where I sit, I am saying, and listening to all, look, we've been on programs, we've read, some people do not deserve to be where they are. And the only way to fish them out is to ask them to leave so that you look through the books and they reapply.
Okay.